What's going on, guys? Steve Larrett here with the Steve Larrett team at Vanguard Realty Alliance. I wanted to talk to you for just a couple of minutes about what the world of real estate is going to look like on the other side of COVID-19. Everybody has their opinions, and if you asked 50 realtors, probably 49 of them would say, well, it's going to be a buyer's market or it's going to be a seller's market. That is a very icing analysis. A lot of icing, no cake, so to speak. The truth is that it's never bilateral. It's never just a buyer's market or a seller's market. And it's always to varying degrees. Each subset of the real estate market is impacted differently by the economic drivers, and understanding that correlation is paramount, really. In the coming days after this thing gets lifted, I think that it's going to be a tremendous buyer's market for investment property. The reason for that is because the subset of the economy that's getting hit the hardest here is the service industry. Bartenders, restaurants, servers, all of those things. So a lot of them, because they're, a cash business, quite frankly, are tenants. And so who's going to be affected by that? The tenants, obviously, from job loss, their inability to pay their landlord's rent, and then the landlord, their inability to evict anyone or really to take any action on it, because all of the courts at this time are only seeing necessary matters. Landlord-tenant issues don't qualify. And so even if there's a destructive tenant in a property and a landlord wants to evict them, that case is not going to be heard for 6 months. And then it might not even be a year because of the backlog of the courts. So landlords are really going to have their wings clipped in this whole thing as far as their rights to protect their property. And I think a lot of landlords are going to get really tired of it and choose to dump their portfolio, which will create opportunity for those people looking to invest in real estate. I think there's going to be a surplus of tenant-occupied properties to pick up after this thing, and you're going to pay, 70 cents on the dollar, which is great for people looking to invest. I think that you will have a temporary buyer's market in the $400,000 to $600,000 single-family home range, because this whole crisis has really messed up the secondary mortgage markets. And so FHA, USDA, they've all but stopped writing loans because there's no market on the back end to sell those loans to. And so the only people that are getting really approved at this point are people that were going to go conventional or people that can afford to pay points and things like that. So a lot of the folks that were pre-approved to buy a house that maybe had a 620 credit score and we're going to do an FHA loan, they're now denied. So you're going to have, coming out of this in the immediate future, you're going to have fewer buyers that are in a position to buy. And you're also going to have all of the sellers that had high hopes of selling March, April, and May, this entire spring market. They're all going to flood into the market the second this travel ban and lockdown gets lifted. So you're going to have an immediate surplus of inventory, and you're going to have decreased amount of buyers and competition. So more inventory, less competition is going to breed a buyer's market for those that can actually afford to buy. But I do believe it's going to be short-lived and temporary. I think that it will normalize, within probably 4 or 5 months after that initial burst of inventory is cycled through. And I think we'll return back to a seller's market in that $400,000 to $600,000 single family range. Long-term projections, as far as commercial real estate goes, I think you're going to have a big opportunity for commercial in 2 to 4 years, because a lot of these bars and restaurants that are going to shut down now, that space is going to sit vacant for quite a while because everybody's getting hammered. And then there will be a ton of opportunity on the other side of this, but those folks that have the not only the liquidity and the means, but the appetite to dive right in and start another bar or restaurant, that number is going to be diminished because they're all taking a hit right now in the stock market and their varying business ventures. So I think long term, 2 to 4 years, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to pick up great commercial properties for 10 cents on the dollar, which is going to be great for people looking for opportunity then. But every market is impacted differently by the economic drivers. So you have to consider more than, it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. You have to think, well, in this particular market, who are the property owners? And how were they affected by this crisis? What portion of the economy drives their wealth? How is that portion of the economy affected? You need to apply a lot more in-depth analysis to this thing than just, well, it's a buyer's market or it's a seller's market. Sounds clever. It's not really. So if you want someone guiding you through this thing that can advise you with a more in-depth analysis and projection for what you may encounter on the other side of this thing, please don't hesitate to reach out and give me a call. Number's 484-574-3174. Not you agents. This is for buyers and sellers. Cheers, guys. I'll talk to you soon.